I know she do. That's why whenever I come around, she's all over you. That slut. Oh. Hi guys, and welcome to our first day here in the Figured Out Kitchen. I'm your host, Conway Gaskin, and for today's recipe, our very first recipe we're making together, we're making spaghetti carbonara. It's super easy, not a lot of ingredients, doesn't take a lot of time to make, just a bit of organization. So if you want to see how I make spaghetti carbonara, keep on watching. You know how this YouTube thing works. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, all that jazz. So let's get started. So here I have a large stock pot, about 3/4 full. We're gonna get our pasta ready started, so when we're all ready to assemble, we don't have to worry about nothing. So a large stock pot, 3/4 full. To that, I'm gonna add about 1/4 cup kosher salt. So just gonna get that going. Moving on, today we're using pancetta. Traditionally, I believe it is guanciale, but I just couldn't find guanciale at my local grocery store. Any kind of salty, fatty pork will work in this recipe. So here I have our guanciale. I'm just gonna get this out and just cube this up. You're gonna want about 1-inch cubes. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means. Oh my God. I wish I had a sharper knife. Alrighty, so we're just gonna transfer our pancetta and bring this over to the stove. So here I have a saucepan over medium-low heat, just preheating. I'm gonna add our guanciale, and what I want to do is just render off some of that fat. We're not gonna be doing anything crazy other than just kind of melting away some of that fat that will be the base of our sauce. Perfect, so just gonna get that in there, let it do its thing. And then we're gonna move on to our egg mixture. So for the base of this sauce, we're using an egg. For a classic carbonara, it's an egg-based sauce. For my recipe, I'm using 2 full eggs and 4 egg yolks. When testing this recipe, I found I only needed the whites of 2 eggs, and the rest is coming from the yolk. The yolk is really where you're getting that richness that's gonna be the body of the sauce. So I'm just gonna separate some eggs right now. Everyone has their own way of separating eggs. I just use my hands. I'm using clean hands. You can use a shell-to-shell method. I just find you run the risk of piercing the yolk when I'm doing the shell-to-shell. So I'd rather not do that and just avoid any problems. Alrighty, so we have our eggs separated. To that, I'm gonna add our cheeses. Today we're using Parmesan and Pecorino cheese. Parmesan simply because it's the perfect cheese for this, and Pecorino because it does add a bit of saltiness to this dish that will complement the saltiness of the pancetta very well. So I'm just going to finely microplane some Parm and Pecorino cheese. I'm using a bit more Parm than Pecorino, and then I'm going to reserve the rest for garnish later. Oh my God, I'm done. Okay, so I have our cheese grated. I'm just gonna mix them together and then set aside till needed. Alrighty, going back to our pancetta, you're gonna see some color developing in there and a lot of the fats rendering out. I'm just gonna keep that going for a little bit until I see a bit more fat coming off of this little piggy. Let me switch my tongs. Bitch. Tell me when you got that ready, Hannah. Okay, so we have our pancetta chilling out. We have our egg mixture going. Now we're gonna get ready for the pasta. I want all of this already done because when we're assembling the pasta, it is gonna be a lot of just go, go, go. There's not gonna be a lot of like start and stopping. So I have our boiling pasta water finally ready. Put this on top of this, keep that warm. Again, I'm just using spaghetti. You can use whatever long noodle or whatever noodle fits your need. I'm gonna cook this until 1 minute before al dente because I'm gonna finish it in the sauce. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this in. Alrighty, our pasta's in. We're about 1 minute till al dente, so now I'm gonna make our sauce. So I'm just gonna take a cup of our pasta water. And what I'm gonna do is kind of assemble the sauce in our mixing bowl here off the heat. That way I have better control and I'm less likely to scramble the eggs, which is always a fear when making carbonara. So I just have my whisk. I'm just gonna gently stream in our starchy pasta water to make the sauce. Just bit by bit, I'm just gonna go in. What I'm doing is tempering the eggs as well, so it's not such a shock when they hit the hot pan. And of course, melting the cheese. So just bit by bit. This will be a little loose, but that's okay because it'll tighten up in the pan with the pancetta. Just keep it going, keep it moving. Okay. We're looking pretty good. Okay, so I used about 2/3 of the cup that I thought I needed. But you use however much you feel. What you're looking for is a pretty loose sauce. The cheese is almost completely melted, and it's quite loose. Done is this blood clot sauce. So I'm just gonna, that's still rolling, right? Okay. So I'm just gonna try one of the noodles, see its doneness. Almost there. Another minute and we're good. Okay, I'm just gonna take out some more pasta water just in case I need it. Okay, good. So our pasta is ready. We have our pancetta, our egg mixture, our black pep. Let's get this party started, okay? So I'm just gonna transfer in our pasta into our pancetta pan. It's totally okay if some of the water gets in there. It'll help kind of emulsify everything in the end. Oh my God, why are you being so annoying? We're good. I'm just gonna keep mixing this around. Okay, just keep it moving, keep it moving. I really want to get all these noodles coated with this pancetta fat. Oh my gosh. And once you add your egg mixture, you cannot stop moving the pan because that's when you're gonna get it to start scrambling. Just gonna mix this in. Go right in. Perfect. Okay, and then don't stop moving this pan. All the cheeses will melt. So yeah, as you can see, it looks quite loose right now, but that will tighten up and won't be so kind of soupy. I have this on low heat. You don't want this on high. You don't want this to go too hard too fast. I really want this to be a very silky sauce, no lumps, and no scrambled eggs, because that shit nasty.
A few moments later.
Alrighty, so you can see the sauce is much tighter right now. I'm just gonna take off the heat. And now we're gonna adjust for seasoning. So I'm gonna add my black pep. And you'll notice at this point I haven't added any salt. I want to leave it to the end simply because you're getting salt from the cheese, you're getting salt from the pancetta, you're getting salt from the pasta. I don't want to overkill it with the salt. So I just want to taste it at the very end just to make sure everything is seasoned correctly. That's perfect. All right. Time to plate. Okay. Ready. And to finish, a bit more black pep. Parm. And I like to finish mine with a bit of lemon zest. It's not kind of classic, it's not traditional, but I think it adds a bit of brightness and acidity and freshness to the dish. And it kind of cuts through a lot of that salty fat. So just a bit. Alrighty. And there you have it, an easy, simple way to make spaghetti carbonara at home. Eggs, pancetta, cheese, you got this, okay? Figure it out. Take care. Tell me when you're ready, girl. You will yell action.
The music.
Oh. Oh my God. I know this man he can't come after me with copyright infringement. Bitch.